A lot of. Many. Many elderly people have never touched a computer in their lives. Many politicians have suffered at the hands of the popular press. Tons of. A number of. There are a number of different points of view on this controversial issue. A number of houses were demolished so that the supermarket could be built. All right. Acceptable. Nowadays it's acceptable for women to be ambitious. But it wasn't then. Students who achieve an acceptable standard will progress to degree studies. Show. Demonstrate. The study also demonstrated a direct link between obesity and mortality. Thousands of people gathered to demonstrate against the new proposals. Give up. Quit. Winners are not those who never fail, but those who never quit. The study suggests those who quit before 50 showed less memory decline. Put up. Tolerate. The president announced that the country would not tolerate foreign aggression. Our teacher has a reputation for firmness and is unlikely to tolerate misbehavior. Put off. Postpone. Let's postpone making a decision until we have more factual information. The ferry service has been postponed for the day because of bad weather. Really? Definitely. The position of women, over the years, has definitely changed for the better. The book is definitely useful for both undergraduate and graduate courses. Really big. Considerable. Get up and move regularly if you spend a considerable amount of time sitting. He was admired for his intellect, humor, and considerable moral courage. Keep. Retain. If you want to retain youthful vigor, you have to take regular exercise. Since I have poor memory recall, it is hard for me to retain lecture notes. Show up. Arrive. After years of climbing the corporate ladder, he felt he had finally arrived. The food finally arrived at the end of last week and distribution began. In the end. Finally. Finally, walking is a cheap, safe, enjoyable, and readily available form of exercise. The jury deliberated for over 27 hours before finally reaching their verdict. Go down. Decrease. There has been a sharp decrease in pollution since the law was introduced. Sales have now peaked and we expect them to decrease in the near future. Look at. Examine. X-rays are used by doctors to examine the bones or organs inside our bodies. Critically examine your work as if you were looking at someone else's efforts. Make up. Fabricate. They waste a lot of time interviewing people with fabricated credentials. Never fabricate your resume because doing so is grounds for being fired for deception. Stand for. Represent. Growing levels of pollution represent a serious health hazard to the environment. The views of this commentator do not represent those of this television station. Leave out. Omit. Please don't omit any details, no matter how trivial they may seem. I'd be upset if my name were omitted from the list of contributors. Point out. Indicate. Gross national product is conventionally used to indicate economic development. Fossil records indicate that Africa was the cradle of early human evolution. Go against. Oppose. We're hoping we can get more senators to oppose the legislation. The group opposes the mayor and is trying to find a candidate to run against him. Deal with. Handle. She admitted to herself she didn't know how to handle the problem. Household finances are generally handled by the women in Burmese society. Smart. Intelligent. There is no evidence that more intelligent animals have more offspring. He surrounds himself with attractive, intelligent, or well-known people. Tell. Inform. Please inform us of your decision and we will act accordingly. You must inform your bank immediately if your credit cards are lost or stolen. Free. Liberate. The government is devising a plan to liberate prisoners held in detention camps. The refugees decided to liberate themselves by seeking shelter in nearby countries. Anyway. Nevertheless. I knew a lot about the subject already, but her talk was interesting nevertheless. He found the test difficult but nevertheless made a good attempt at it. But. However. This is a cheap and simple process. However, there are dangers. This is one possible solution to the problem. However, there are others. Get. Receive. Patients usually receive high doses of radiation during cancer treatment. A satellite receives the signals and then sends them back to Earth. Buy. Purchase. If you join, you will automatically receive 50% off your first purchase. Over 90% of American households purchase bananas at least twice each month. Have to. Must. The government must also take strong measures to tackle the housing bubble. There must be a minimum of 2 members of the company at the meeting. Lack. Deficiency. The opacity of the eye lens can be induced by a deficiency of certain vitamins. Symptoms of anemia include weakness, fatigue, and iron deficiency. Live. Reside. Most species of fish that reside in the ocean can't live in freshwater. All single full-time students must reside in university residence halls. Lively. Energetic. He was praised for his extremely energetic and effective leadership. The country needs an active and energetic president, especially now. Check. Verify. Until more evidence is found, the police cannot verify the killer's motive. They now take extra steps to verify the creditworthiness of customers. Chance. Opportunity. There are lots of opportunities to find work if you're willing to work hard. Napoleon Bonaparte once remarked that ability is nothing without opportunity. Use. Utilize. Our security system is top-notch, though we've had little need to utilize it. The Romans were the first to utilize concrete as a building material. Let. Allow. The system allows you to transfer data easily from one computer to another. The authority will not hinder anything useful nor allow anything harmful. Harm. Damage. Fossil fuels have caused irreversible damage to the environment. The longer sugar stays in touch with your teeth, the more damage it will do. Empty. Vacant. 2 jobs are vacant at the courthouse and need to be filled immediately. The vacant seat of the finance minister is hotly contested among politicians. Mend. Repair. The damage this has done cannot be repaired by technology alone. The watch mechanism is extremely intricate and very difficult to repair. Idea. Notion. We each have a notion of just what kind of person we'd like to be. The traditional notion of marriage goes back thousands of years. See. Observe. The satellite will observe objects that are particularly interesting astronomically. Ancient Chinese astronomers first observed sunspots about 2,000 years ago. Need. Require. Such policies would require unprecedented cooperation between nations. If you require further information, you should consult the registrar. Whole. Entire. This statement must be understood in the context of the entire document. Sigmund Freud once remarked that from error to error, one discovers the entire truth. Worse. Inferior. It is believed that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The watch I bought was certainly inexpensive, but it is also of inferior quality. Death. Demise. Online newspapers are causing the demise of the traditional newspaper. There are several theories about what caused the demise of the dinosaurs. Hopeless. Futile. Unfortunately, all rescue attempts were futile during the terrible hurricane. It's completely futile trying to reason with him, he just won't listen. Want. Desire. The motivation to succeed comes from the burning desire to achieve a purpose. The desire to feel important is one of the greatest cravings in most human beings. Say no. Reject. Consumers have the right to reject faulty goods and demand a refund. Because my teacher doesn't like me, she will probably reject my delayed excuse. Sight. Vision. She suffered temporary loss of vision after being struck on the head. Sometimes our vision clears only after our eyes are washed away with years. Use. Consume. Many people are unaware of just how much food and drink they consume. New refrigerators consume 70% less electricity than older models. Mainly. Principally. He had married her principally for the sake of her father's property. No new power stations have been built, principally because of the cost. Clear. Transparent. A layer of transparent material is sandwiched between the pieces of glass. The cornea is the transparent membrane that covers the front of our eyes. Lucky. Fortunate. I was fortunate enough to obtain a research studentship at Stanford. We should try to help others who are less fortunate than ourselves. Say sorry. Apologize. They apologize for the mistake and promise that it won't happen again. He is quick to apologize, but his regret sometimes lacks sincerity. Start. Commence. Such a process of education must inevitably commence with the young. That process will take about a year before construction could commence.